Change a card, trust, seriously good service. Now that's something to smile about.
Your Erie agent in Uniontown and Ross Traver Township is Sprowls Insurance Group, 724-437-9812, or go to sprowlsinsurance.com.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all
The
states.
views and opinions presented by the host, guests, or callers on this program do not necessarily represent the positions of WMBS Radio.
Well, thank you, TJ. Welcome to Democratic Hour on WMBS 590 AM, 101.1 FM. When we'll be taking calls, our telephone number is 724-438-4593. And TJ, we start the show with a little music, unless you have something other than our normal. You may want to surprise us the day after Thanksgiving.
It's been a while. I haven't had many surprise.
Uh-oh.
There we go.
Oh, there he is. I know he had a good Thanksgiving. He called me.
He did.
He told me don't call him back either. He said I'm a jinx when it comes to the Steeler game. That's Justin Timberlake. TJ, thank you.
I don't know. TJ, how was the Thanksgiving?
Good Thanksgiving.
Crowded house?
It was. How about you?
They had a few people over. Too much to eat.
Doc, how was yours?
Right.
We did have a special guest at our house.
Uh-oh.
Justin was there.
Oh.
He brought everything. And since it went so well, he's taking me to the Pitt game tomorrow and the Steeler game on Sunday.
I think we're having some communication problems here at the studio today.
Well, I think he's coming to my place for Christmas. I think he's going to sing some Christmas carols.
I'll tell you what, there'll be a new thing in Fayette County. Hey, getting back on the serious side. Now, Rich got his hat on. Doc doesn't. I have my Christmas. But actually, they had a little problem. They got a new boiler here in the studio or in the building, and now we're warm.
Things are heating up.
Heating up. Speaking of things heating up, as I indicated, I didn't talk to Bureau of Elections today. They had the day off. So the election was certified on November 25th. You go to their website. Or if you want to call in Bureau of Elections Monday, they'll be there. The telephone's number 724-430-1289. And there were some ties in the county. Of course, those individuals who did write-ins, there were some positions opening for judge of elections, inspector of elections, auditors, so on and so forth. How many ties, to be honest with you, I don't know. Those individuals were notified. They have to go to Bureau of Elections, and they'll have a
pull a name out of a hat or a jar, I guess.
Well, they have some numbers. 1 through whatever, and of course the lowest number will break the ties. So I will be down there Monday to see how everything goes. Guys, I know it's Black Friday. I did a little history. It started in Philadelphia. I mean, really where it got its roots in Philadelphia. It was day after Thanksgiving, and of course that was the weekend of big Army-Navy. There was a lot of people in town. You could look this up, and then of course where we're at today after all these years. But you know, if they started something in Philadelphia, we're going to start something here in Uniontown. I'm going to call it Diet Friday. Right after everybody ate, right? We're going to call it Diet Friday. Black Friday, is what it is today. We're going to start one in Uniontown. If they can start Black Friday, started in Philadelphia, and you see where it's at, it's called Black Friday throughout the country.
Are you saying you had too much to eat yesterday?
Oh, absolutely. I wish I had too much to drink. But if it was to eat, and of course, we know Monday's Fiber Monday.
Yeah.
So if they have Fiber Monday and Black Friday, we could do Diet Friday here.
Yeah,
we could, but I have a favorite, Leftover Friday.
Okay, Leftover Friday.
I already had that for lunch. Turkey sandwich.
Turkey sandwich.
Already had that. Okay.
And I want to thank a caller who delivered a pie, not to my residence, to my sister's. And I want to thank the person, but I also want to remind him the pie went to my sister's, not to my house, so I never did get the pie. When I got to my sister's, the pie was gone. So I don't want to mention the person's name, but I want to thank you. That was very kind and nice of you to do that. You made my sister's day, but she said it was excellent. She wouldn't even save me a piece. Guys, I don't even know where to start this. But Rich, I know you have some things in Doc's course. Let's start. The governor was in town here, I do believe, Tuesday.
Earlier, yeah.
I think at 3:00 here at the Community
Action. Yeah.
So the governor was in town. I think I know Vince was out of town. I think, I don't know if the two commissioners, I know Scott Dunn was there, our Senator Pat Stefano was there, but neither of our representatives, right? Charity wasn't there, or Ryan Warner, but...
Wrong party,
right? But if they're going to need something, of course, we know those two individuals, Ryan Warner and Charity, voted against the budget.
Yeah.
But Pat voted for the budget. But you think the governor comes into town, right?
Yeah.
You would think.
Hey, if the governor could come into town, why does a certain guy come into town?
Oh, that's right. Forgot about Guy, right? He's going to be running again for office. When did Winterfield come into Fayette County?
Yeah, I mean, the governor had to travel further distance than Guy would have to travel.
Absolutely. And so the governor was in town. And guys, more I look at this administration with the current president of the United States, nothing should shock us. His vulgarity, his behavior. Could you imagine Joe Biden saying the things that this guy continues to say day in and day out? There's observance where they forgive the turkeys, right? They're going to give a pardon.
Yeah,
he couldn't even be presidential during a pardon. Think about that. He had to bring his personal political views in about the former presidents. Think about that. You have your grandkids at this event. He can't even behave there. Then he goes on a tirade, I guess, last night, another one. And he calls, let's see if we have some of the words. Rich, go jump in there. You or Doc while I look something up.
I missed that last night, if that was one.
Oh, yeah.
He went off the rails last night.
Off the rails. Again, he's insulting women. Any press, they asked him a
question.
This one lashed out at reporters during a Thanksgiving media availability. Trump lashed out at CBS reporter who questioned him about his comments in the National Guard shooting, asking her, you are a stupid person. He also made a personal attacks also on personal journalists throughout the day. I mean, it just goes on and on about him. And, I'm thinking, Donald, you're down there. I know you have grandkids. Could you imagine, hey, Grandpa, why did you call her piggy? Why did you call this one stupid? Why did you call this one fat, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it just goes on and on with him. And where is all these other so-called evangelicals, Christians, they have no problem with this? I know I have a problem. Everybody should have a problem. Then anything that goes wrong, he wants to blame the previous administration. And unfortunately, what happened with the two National Guards, unfortunately, one passed away. The other one's in critical condition. He wants to throw the blame immediately on the former administration.
Yep. I saw it this afternoon or late this morning. Sarah Beckstrom, the guardswoman from West Virginia, who was shot and who died. President Trump was asked the question if he was going to go to the funeral, and he says, "Well, I really haven't thought about it." And then he goes on a tirade about how popular he is in West Virginia.
Yeah,
how big the vote was.
Now think about that, folks. Who else would do something? And this is the way he talks. And we got people right here in the county love the man, but don't have a problem, which Rich just said. Unfortunately, somebody lose their life, and he's talking about how big a win he got in West Virginia.
Yeah,
he has no morals, folks.
Hey, at least Biden was the consoler in chief. I mean,
And here's the other thing. Unfortunately, he's the one that ordered the National Guard there.
Yeah, it was interesting. I found the press conference they had the day they were shot.
Let's see if I could.
And they have all standing behind them, all the people who are involved in the investigation. Muriel Bowser, the mayor of Washington D.C., they gave her opportunity to speak. She spoke the least, but I think said the most. And her comment came down to those two young people should not have even been in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, that was the key.
Yeah.
That really was that was the real glitch.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know.
Like I said, our telephone number is 724-438-4593. Like I said, Doc, have a little fun today. You know, everybody's out shopping Black Friday, but on a serious side, some of the things we just and it's not going to get any better.
Nope.
Trust me.
Nope.
It's just going to continue to get worse. There was another court decision over
Redistricting.
redistricting, and also in Georgia, where the judge
threw out the case. Yeah.
Well, I guess he made a comment. What do you think Donald Trump was asking for? 11,780 golf balls? Was he asking 780,000? Or it's 11,780 Big Macs? What was he asking for? Votes, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what that judge seen, right?
Yeah, and he threw it out,
Yeah.
and people threw out the whole case. And
Every American has heard it in his own voice
Right.
at least 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Because it's been replayed so many times because it was a nailed down, incontrovertible evidence of a crime.
and some of the people who were also involved in that, they pled guilty.
Yeah.
They pled guilty.
Like I said,
Mind-boggling.
mind-boggling. 11,000, maybe, let's see, what else he could put? 11,780 pizzas?
Diet Cokes.
Diet Cokes. What else was he asking, right? Believe me. And like I said, he took off on, when they pardoned the turkeys.
Yeah.
And then, again, insulting female. I wish one of them would tell him go blank himself. And really, because he has no problem saying it.
Yeah.
What's he, just terrified of women or what?
Yeah, well, like I said last week, that Washington Press Club dinner in April, he's not going to go to the White House Correspondents' dinner.
You don't think he'll show up?
I
Why?
doubt.
You know what? You know who could be the host?
Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, Jimmy Kimmel. I guarantee it'll be the biggest watched thing in the world. And he wants him fired again, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, Donald, maybe one day he'll listen to WMBS. What do you think of all the things? But really, this on a serious side, a man has no compassion. He doesn't care what he says, who he insults, who he throws under the table. Then that little debacle with that so-called possible peace treaty in Russia, right, with Ukraine, right? That was another screw-up.
Yeah. I mean, his Secretary of State is not even involved in, direct talks.
Sells furniture, doesn't he? Or some other the negotiator that he sent over there.
Yeah, it's an old-time friend of his, longtime friend of his.
Yeah, he claims he solved 8 wars, but, I guess the one he can't solve is the one he said just a phone call the first day I'll end the war in Ukraine, right?
Well, it sounds like he's getting ready to start one.
In Venezuela?
Venezuela.
Yeah.
Yeah, now he's talking, he says it's only a matter of time before we do the land assault. Now, if they start putting troops on the ground in Venezuela, I say look out. And what is the strategy in Venezuela? I mean, is it narco-terrorism? Is it he wanted to overthrow the regime that's running the government? What is the strategy? The drugs... There's a minimal amount of drugs that are coming out of Venezuela.
We don't know the ones he targeted on the boats would have anything to do with drugs.
Quantities or the confirmation of what all that was, or what they
Well, we see
recovered
some
and
boats
the
out there. We'll
dollar
just
value of what they recovered.
Yeah.
But you talk about strategy on the Venezuelan side. The strategy on Trump's could be very simple: save the war that I'm going to declare till the 2 weeks before the election, right?
Yeah.
And when terrorize the Americans would check around to see the age of the children who you have there in the 18 to 30 range that are going to be fighting in Venezuela. I mean, and then the martial law and put any elections on hold.
Yep.
For 90 days, and then again
And for another 90 and another 90.
forever.
Yeah.
So there is, he's sort of rehearsing us warming us up to anticipate this may be coming down the road in the next year and a half. Does that not make sense?
That makes sense. And to me, the recent talks about what the heck was it? The language, military people can ignore illegal orders.
Yes.
I think that is just being the setup, Doc, of what you're talking about. he's going to have civil disorder.
He wants to go after
Martial
Kelly
law.
because Kelly's still.
Yeah.
So
once-
he even has 4 plans. He has the invasion of Venezuela. He has the insurrection and the compromised election, and we can't run them. They won't be fair,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. So he has plan A, plan B, plan C, and he's covered it 6 different ways.
Yep.
But look, you said nothing should shock us. Every day it's something different.
Yeah. And it a lot of times, at least to me, it seems like he overreacts. Like, and now he's putting the ban on 19 countries. Immigrants aren't going to be able to come in.
Lock the doors.
Lock the doors.
Because of the one incident.
Yeah, and Laura Loomer, I don't know why she has as much influence over Trump as she does, but she came out today and just said they should just deport all the Muslims who brought in under the, of course, Biden and Obama administrations.
And how about his press secretary?
What about her?
What did she make? Didn't one of her relatives just get picked
Oh,
up
yeah.
by ICE?
By ICE, yeah.
Yeah.
An aunt or somebody or a niece.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Wonder if she was going to get the same treatment, or he, or it could, nephew or niece, or whoever family member as everybody else got.
Yeah. DEI.
I wish my niece would call I should have her call. There was something happened in New Orleans about somebody they just deported out of this country. If you'd hear the whole story, it'll make you cry. But this is some of the stuff that's going on. Exporting or deporting, not exporting, deporting people out of this country who came in here or were waiting for their due process to be American citizen. They take a young lady, has 3 children here, born here, and they deport her, right?
Right.
No consideration for the kids. No consideration, but like I said, 2025, their plan, and here it is.
Yeah.
The one he said he didn't know anything about 2025.
Well, he must have done some speed reading.
Well, I don't even know if he does that. Then he made a comment. I think he's getting up a little later. He does
Noon. Starts at noon. His day starts at noon.
Noon, right?
And that's a bad sign. They're using that as a marker of brain deterioration. Maybe works a night shift. He's up doing.
Tweeting.
Night, right?
And we had LBJ Johnson. He used to start making calls around midnight, waking people up because he had his nap, as many great people did, and nap. So he's as fresh. It's just an extra day he would be getting. He did that, and other famous people. So you could.
I could stand somebody. It's 79, and when he fell asleep a little bit, closed his eyes, and
Absolutely.
Well, if that was Joe Biden, goodness.
Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy Joe.
Impeachment.
Box.
Crank up the impeachment papers for Joe. But that's what. But when you point out something that's crude or rude that he has said, you can always explain it by just saying, that's Donald. Because we're used to it. We've seen enough over the years. So we expect.
Locker room talk, right? Locker room talk. Right.
But my grudge is with the pundits, and what I try to do is watch YouTube and all these interviews and all to see what's missing or are they on track. And I do have a grudge when I know that she does fantastic work like Maddow, but she has a team of 50, who knows her
researchers.
John Oliver and all these Manchin. I saw him doing interviews, various. I don't know what he's cooking up for a third-party run or something. But in any event, my grudge is that the people that have the resources don't miss on a basic critical fact. Now, I've been listening on the past 2 weeks. They cannot mention the problem with the immigrants without saying Joe Biden opened wide both arms and not a check at any single spot in America and caused it all.
Yeah.
And none of these brilliant people would mention the fact that when they claim that the Democrats sat back and did nothing, they neglect one simple fact that Biden was sitting in the White House waiting for a runner to bring down the bill that's signed by the senators, confirming with 2.5 years of homework weekend, come back, and they pounded out with the Republican chairman, had a complete bill, the biggest bill going back to the 60s, okay? And they had the bill ready to sign, and Biden sitting there waiting for the signing, and it occurred in that afternoon, and the call goes out
from the White House
to about 6 senators and said, I desperately have to have the immigrants problem for the upcoming election in 3 months.
Is the big issue.
Whatever you say, boss. And they canceled it, and they canceled it, and it never saw and they didn't even
Never seen the light of
its
day.
existence. It
Right.
was 2.5 years of work.
Yeah.
Coming back early, weekends and so forth, and they pounded it out, and they said it addressed almost every problem that we've seen in the past 30 years.
But it wasn't the big, beautiful bill.
Well, even on the Epstein vote, 427
The
to 1.
in the House.
427 to 1. It went through the Senate, right?
Yeah.
And of course, he called that a Democratic hoax, right?
Then why, if it's a hoax, why is he signing the bill?
Yes.
Why sign it into law?
And again, our telephone number is 724-438-4593. Last week we were busy. Probably everybody's out shopping, relaxing, right? Big football day last weekend. There's probably a couple of games on today, right?
Probably a lot of people just sitting back and taking Alka-Seltzer or Pepto-Bismol today.
Or like you said, leftover, right? What'd you call it, Doc? I called it
Leftover day.
leftover day. And I call it Died Friday. But I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. But and again, we had the governor in town. We had president comments. The budget in the state was signed here 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. We got
Finally.
local legislators. And if I offend any local legislators, and you can rest assured, if there's any grant money coming to this county and you take credit for it, you can rest assured I'm going to call you out on this show. I mean,
Don't approve the budget, but you'll take the grants.
take the grants.
Yeah.
And you're going to reach out somebody from any of our townships, who's seeking grant money for projects in their townships, and you got the gall, right, to take a photo op, but yet you won't vote for the budget.
And even when the governor was in town the other day, given that tax break, if you get it on a federal level, you're automatically going to get it on a state level. Now, there are a lot of people around here in this county, in this state, who can't keep their mouth shut about raising taxes. He goes out there, the governor goes out and said this is the 7th time that he's lowered taxes in 3 years. Yeah, why don't they congratulate him or something?
They're not going to congratulate him for anything.
No.
But like you said, no. And speaking of other things, I'm going to bring up Charity's name. The reason I do this, or the reason I'm doing it, with all these major possibilities of these data centers coming, we got a good possibility, one coming at the Urbana mine site. And I know that it's in Bud Cook's jurisdiction. When you think our local legislators here would reach out to Bud, and maybe they have, because I know some of the residents in Greenton County don't want to see this being built. But here's the other thing. Did ever think of all the tradesmen that live in Fayette County? The plumbers, the pipe fitters, the electricians, the iron workers, the boiler makers, the tile setters, the cement finishers, and operating engineers. They have an opportunity to work there for a couple of years, and there's going to be some permanent jobs.
Yep. And they're not going to fill all those jobs in Greene County and Washington County. There's going to be a spillover region-wide.
And we have a major project going up there at the old Homer City facility. Right now, I think we have around 28 guys on a job. It'll probably peak out around over 1,000 pipe fitters on a job. So there's some, major projects coming here. And of course, and I will say this, they're looking for the best and skilled laborers. So these projects will be built under project labor agreement using all the skilled trades here in Western Pennsylvania. But again, I don't hear from any of them mentioning about anything that's going on here.
Nope.
But like you said, when you vote no and don't go to Harrisburg to make friends, that's what happens.
Yeah.
And TJ, we may have a caller. I think everybody's out maybe relaxing today. Not much can't blame them.
Yeah.
I forgot today was, after Thanksgiving. I thought, this was Saturday. We'll take a day off, right? But no, there's no day offs in politics.
Is there a call?
We have a
Let's see
call.
what we got.
Good afternoon. You're on the air. Who are we speaking to?
Yeah, good afternoon. This is Jay.
Hey, Jay, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was real good. And in-laws right now, and real good. But I'm real saddened as a native of West Virginia.
Yeah, what happened in
And,
D.C.?
And a veteran. This young lady, ridiculous act. The guy should face the most severe consequences for his actions. No question about it.
Mm-hmm.
This young lady, 20 years old,
20.
out of Webster County in the central part of the state, and then Mr. Wolf from the Eastern Panhandle in critical condition. But you can feel, what people don't understand is when you put troops out there, it affects families. And man, you could, even if it was just a brief comment, her dad, I could feel the man's pain. And people don't understand that when these type of decisions are made and people are using U.S. military as political pawns, there are consequences. And you got right now a family that's devastated, probably a young girl, probably just trying to improve herself, probably serving her country, serving it nobly, and maybe picking up at a Glenville State or something, some courses to down the line get an associate or bachelor's degree. I don't know her story, but it's sad. And what I wanted to comment on is when you're a president of the United States, you were talking about decorum earlier. When a death has occurred like that, you just don't mention it and then start demeaning other people or talking about your handicap to the troops after somebody has been fallen, your handicap in golf. I just, to me, and another thing that just angers me as a native of West Virginia is this governor of West Virginia, Morrissey, who is a MAGA New Jersey transplant, who on his social media made 4 times as many posts when Charlie Kirk died as when this young lady died. And my problem with that is he's commander-in-chief of this. He's the one who called these troops to Washington, D.C. And he needs to think a little bit about what he's done and his decision-making a little bit, because I'm really angered by this. This young lady, Beckstrom, Sarah Beckstrom, she did not have to die. It's a senseless act. It's terrible. I don't excuse any type of violence out there. It's horrible.
Likewise.
What this man did. There's no sense in that. And he should, but it's just, the fact is, I don't agree with the killing of Charlie Kirk, but Fox News, when Kirk died, for 2 weeks, it was nothing but front page all over their website. And it's almost now just glossed over and move on because, well, she's just an old hick from West Virginia. And it makes me mad that Donald Trump can't give a straightforward and say he'll go to her funeral service. But when the cameras and the bright lights were on for that Charlie Kirk funeral, and that was a tragedy too. I don't condone anything about that. But when the bright lights and the cameras are on, he made sure to appear. Now, this will probably be a very solemn service, not a lot of attention. I can probably tell the family wants it, and they deserve whatever they want as far as the service. But I cannot stand this man. I mean, I voted twice against George H.W. Bush, but I served under George H.W. Bush. He was a noble commander-in-chief and qualified. He would have never acted like this following the death. Condescending toward people, can't give a real straightforward answer about whether you're going to the funeral or not. That's the difference. I don't think people quite understand the difference of how a commander-in-chief is supposed to act But I'm sorry, I had to get it off my chest.
Well,
I really feel for this family, man. I mean,
We all do,
really
Jay, and you bring it up an excellent point. You see it, I see it, Doc sees it, Rich sees it. Where's the rest of these people when what we're discussing? It should irritate them. They should be angry. What goes on, just like you said, they should have never been called to Washington D.C. Now we tragically lose a National Guard who's from your state of West Virginia. And just like in the remarks, there's a prime example. Here, Dick Cheney died. Here's the President of the United States, wasn't even invited to the funeral. We all know why, right? Yeah.
Right. And I just remember presidents who have served, whether I voted for them or not, or presidents in general, whether you like the George H.W. Bushes or the Bill Clintons, there's no way after a death like this that they would start 5 minutes in with the trooper and start talking about their handicap in golf. After you 5 minutes ago talked about a death, you should make the statement, answer some questions, and you're done. It should be about her, not about your golf game. That is deplorable. I cannot, to me, these people who support this man and his vanity and his arrogance, I don't know what they see.
And you can rest assured, I don't know if they're on after us, you can rest assured, I would like to see what his consensus is of what happened in Washington, D.C., the mega Republicans here in the county.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to get that off my chest. I hope you all are having a great Thanksgiving.
Well, we are. Did you like my Diet Friday comment?
Yeah. Well, yesterday, but I just hope people remember this family. This dad and mother, they're going to have to live with this for the rest of their life. And I don't think it's not just a 48-hour news cycle.
It's being sent off to some foreign country. You're right here in Washington D.C., a driving distance from her home. Right now, she's deceased.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right,
have a great.
And that's Jay, one of our steady callers from West Virginia.
Is it not correct that the deceased was a member of a pure West Virginia team of officers?
Yes.
Just as it's an add-on sad note, but it's also testimony to their patriotism. They were offered, the YouTube notes that I saw, they were offered to go home early. And they
For Thanksgiving, yeah.
And they'd been home for Christmas and all, and they elected to stay on till the New Year.
Yeah.
Which was really a testimony to their depth and breadth of their patriotism.
Yeah. And the other point that Jay brought up, this idea that he's just not compassionate and, he pushes things off, serious things off, like the death of this young woman. Today, President Trump got into an argument of the architect that he handpicked for the gigantic hall. And the architect's point is, sir, you shouldn't be doing this. It's bigger than the White House complex itself.
That architect he chose.
Yeah, the architect he chose to do it. Yeah. And so he was out, and they showed him sitting in the Oval Office with the photos and everything, drawings of what it's going to be like. It's like
the big, beautiful banquet, right? Hall. Over 300 million, maybe 400 million. Maybe the next president wants to get it built, they could tear it down. What do you think?
Well, what about the arches he wants to build?
With McDonald's arches?
No, he wants to put arches. Oh, my goodness.
Just like Jay said, man has no compassion. It's all about him. He goes from the unfortunate death and the possibility of losing another National Guardsman, just to go, like he said, talking about his golf game, talking about West Virginia, how many votes he got. Like you said, nothing bothers him. Nothing should shock us. Well, we knew what he did in the first term. We know what he's doing now in the second term. And he'd like to have a third term.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I just wonder, too, if this had happened in Chicago, if a National Guardsman had been killed in Chicago, what would be going on there? I lived there for 25 years about. And people just aren't going to put up with that stuff, going on there. They don't like it right now.
Remember what happened to the National Guard at Kent State?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's been the fear of almost everybody, knowing, because they're not trained in
Nope.
crowd management
No.
the way the career police and all. But another way of looking at it is that Trump sends all these people in here, goes right ahead and to help. He's saying that the crime is out of control. If it got a single better day by their being there, then that's proof of what the mayors of Alda said. We're understaffed,
Yeah.
and we need funding to get us up to speed
Yeah.
on that.
And he cut
So-
budgets.
So the success, the success of them, of things being calmed down, and they're just now passing out lollipops to children or whatever, it proves what they were saying. We need more manpower, and you're sitting on the funding.
Yeah, and in D.C., where are the troops? They're, the monuments, the national monuments. They're on the mall. They're not in the neighborhoods where they need help
Well,
desperately.
this National Guard was, 2 blocks from the Capitol,
Yeah,
walking the streets.
White House.
Yeah, the
White-
White House.
yeah.
Yep. The other thing, too, that we haven't talked about, and of course, I know Rich and Doc and everybody else, with the health insurance, I've gotten so many calls. I don't want to be rude, but if I don't get 5 a day about Medicare, I don't get one.
Yeah.
And I know the Republicans are concerned, and a lot of the states that these individuals who voted for Donald Trump,
red states.
once they find out, and I think these legislators know they're running next year for election. Now, you imagine what the premium costs are going up.
Yeah.
Fortunately for me, I'm on Medicare, and of course I use the VA, so I'm blessed as far as health insurance. Or if somebody's not in a collective bargaining agreement, what they have to pay for health insurance. And I think under the Affordable Care Act, I do believe you could keep your children on, I think, up to 25.
25 or 26.
Six.
That's what it was.
Yeah, I know. So that all could end.
That was out the window
Yeah.
And
and in the trash basket.
that big, beautiful health bill or plan he has, nobody's ever seen it, right?
That health bill, they've been kicking, the concept of their plan is
That's right, a concept.
and it's been going on for years. Years.
And here it is. We're going to be hitting 2026 here in a little over a month.
Yeah.
But that's what we're dealing with.
And, the president came out and said he would go along with a 2-year extension of the subsidies
Right.
on Obamacare. And the Republicans in Congress are going bat crazy. They don't want that. And even the red states.
Of course, they have the best insurance. Think
Yeah.
about that.
Absolutely.
I bet you
Gold
they have
card.
a gold card.
Absolutely.
The ache,
Gold
pain,
card.
right? I guarantee you.
Right, yes, you're
They
right.
they need a CAT scan or MRI. I guarantee you they don't have to wait. Speaking of that, right? He had the most beautiful. What was that? CAT scan or MRI? Trump.
The 2 levels.
Yeah.
Plus The CAT scan is expensive, and the newest and latest, the even more detail is the MRI.
And
Big-
and you get an MRI for a reason. And he claims it big, beautiful MRI, right? Where was it, Donald? What part of your body? What were they looking for, right?
I don't know.
Like I said, this was what happens. You do a little show. We're on Black Friday, right? And all the comments. But no, Jay brought up an excellent point. But this is what we're dealing with, folks, and it's not going to go away. And we have election coming. Like I said before, one election ends, the other one starts, and we'll be starting here again in February. And
But the reason I have to be the nag about planning ahead for next year and the presidential is that it's not enough to pat yourself on the back that you got mom or dad or Aunt Mary
Yeah.
or so to vote. We need the numbers, and we need
Big numbers.
Your list of 10 to 15 people that you've talked to. You made a list like you would do your grocery list. Talk to them and get them on board, because those numbers will count. And there's an additional reason now. We're seeing the pain in the turnoff of the insurance coverage, and well, that's hitting small numbers gradually. It's not like tomorrow 14 million will be off, but it's in the millions. It's the pain is staged out and will drag out, battling with human resources. If you lost the job, they were dumped. Or through lawsuits and so forth. So the pain will come in waves and not a tsunami.
Right.
But And so when we talk to our relatives, you might find 1 in 10 persons that knows somebody that had something painful. But in 2 years, we'll be talking, and it's going to be 6, 7, or 8.
All right, we got a caller, T. See what we got, Dr.
We do.
Rich. Let's see who it is.
Good afternoon. You're on the air. Who we speaking to?
Hi, it's Mark from Collinsville. Hey, I've seen people in town here, fentanyl. I mean, that is the biggest problem that I think.
You actually seen people on fentanyl?
Yeah, passing out all over the streets up here in Cole.
Did you call the police when you seen it, Mark?
I mean, I didn't know if they were trying to pick up something. They were standing there for like 20 minutes, like acting like they were like frozen, and then.
And you just mentioned fentanyl, so you make a comment about fentanyl, and now you don't know what they were doing.
Well, they had a piece of foil with a star on there. I've already looked it up on the internet. Now.
So you seen something? Did you report it to the police?
They know.
I mean, very simple question: did you or did you not go to the police? Where you seen this?
Yes, I had a girl that stole off me. Needed $20. Walked up the street. Needed some food. Came back with some cellophane. Took a wind chime off and lit something. And she passed out standing up. And then, oh my God! I mean, you have to give the National Guard get these. Oh, I mean, I see it. I don't know if you've seen it. There's people in Pittsburgh, all over the world, all over the country, all over the world doing this stuff. It is so deadly, compared to
You think that's the National Guard's duty? You think if the National Guard was in Connellsville on the street, you think the fentanyl problem would go away? Is that what you're implying?
Well, I think the Connellsville police are doing an excellent job.
Well, that was my whole point.
I've seen them, and they even arrested this girl that did it. They have arrested her, and I went to a court hearing. She was in Fayette County Jail for 3 months.
Well, Mark, the sad part about it is just not in Connellsville. People have a serious drug problem, regardless where they brought up economically.
They're blowing these boats that are bringing massive amounts of drugs.
How do we know that, Mark? Did there was any evidence? Did they present everything? Where was the evidence? We haven't seen it yet.
Well, there are still some that get through that they intercept them, and they have cocaine, fentanyl, uncut, non-processed cocaine. And there was between Mexico and all the. You have to give the National Guard credit for saving millions of lives, of American lives, for getting this fentanyl and all this illegal stuff that goes on. And I mean, you're talking about thousands of American lives that these younger kids, age 20 to like 35, 40, are passing out. They don't breathe. Their heart stops because they're not breathing, and they're not.
We could agree on this. We have a major problem in this country for drugs for years and years.
Yeah, and
Mark, we got to let you go. We're going to wrap this up. We got about a minute.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right, guys, we finished another show here. The next time we're on is going to be December. It's hard to believe, right?
Hard to believe. Very hard to believe.
So we're going to see what happens between now and Donald gets back in probably Sunday night, right from his little weekend in Mar-a-Lago. Mm-hmm. He'll probably have something. Maybe he'll be asked a question on Air Force One, and we'll see what vulgarity comes out of his mouth again.
I mean, I wish I was still had press credentials in the White House and just, would not be afraid to say, like, Mr. President, why do you go after reporters the way you do? Just ask the simple question.
Plain simple. I mean, and again, it's always female, right?
Largely, yeah.
Largely.
And I would answer, because you pick on me.
Yeah, or you got fake news.
Yeah, again, guys, I want to thank Doc and Rich for coming in, and TJ, keep the show going. And here, TJ, real quick, Pitt or Miami?
Pitt.
Steelers, Buffalo. TJ.
Buffalo.
Steelers.
All right, TJ, outnumbered.
That's okay.
Always hope.
Well, there's always hope. I agree. And we appreciate everybody listening to the show. If you're out there shopping, be safe. Enjoy your family. It's a long weekend, and we will be back on a Democratic car, and we're going to take it to the streets. Thanks, T.
And this is WMBS Uniontown at 4 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Steel.
I'm Heather Bosch. The Afghan national accused of shooting 2 National Guard members this week had worked with the CIA. CBS